Welcome, everybody. I'd like to call the regular City Council meeting of April 15th, 2026 to order. Ms. Cassandra.
Mayor David Romero,
Here.
Councilor Marvin Martinez,
Present.
Councilor Barbara Casey,
Here.
Councilor Benito Pacheco,
Present.
Councilor David Ulivari.
Here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We do have a quorum.
Mr. Arnold Lopez, will you lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilor Pacheco, moment of silence.
Let's have a moment of silence for all that's going on in the world, for all that's going on in our country, for the citizens of Las Vegas and their private intentions, and just for a better place for us all. Amen.
Mr. Mayor, approval of the agenda.
Pleasure of the council.
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of the agenda as presented.
I have a motion by Councilor Casey. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Martinez. All in favor? Aye. Those opposed, same sign. The ayes have it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moving on to public input. We have no public input this evening. Moving on to our mayor's appointments, reports, recognitions, and proclamations.
Before we start off, I want to first off bring up, I know we have our cleanup, our River Park cleanup, Riverwalk cleanup on Friday. Myself, Mr. Marcus, and Mr. Jaramillo did a little video, and it really helped. We're going to have Las Vegas City Schools, West Las Vegas participating, Highlands University, Luna. So, those that are able to be present, I think it's going to be a great turnout. We're going to actually have students from Robertson Bust and everything, so a lot of positive feedback from that. Thank you, Mr. Marcus, and your team. On top of that, I also want to thank Mr. City Manager, Mr. Caleb Marcus, Mr. Lucas Marcus, and Miss Amanda. This week, yesterday actually, we were able to present to West Las Vegas high school students and discuss city government. I mean, really awesome. I think we used it almost as a recruitment tool for employment here in the future. It was awesome to engage with students about city government, how it works, how we operate as a governing board. Great engagement. With that, I'll go ahead and start off. I know I have many appointments going on here. I know we went ahead and have adopted resolutions pertaining to certain committees. So I'll start off.
That's extra.
Okay. So I want to go ahead and start off with the appointments of the Economic Development Advisory Committee. I know this committee really hasn't, they met one time and we discussed about getting a full-time person committed to work with this committee. Within our budget, we did reorganize and we are going to have an Economic Development Director. So that will be, I know the city manager and HR are working on an actual job description for that, so that's coming. So I'm recommending appointing the whole committee again. I think they're all committee members that will help with economic development. So with that, I don't know if there's any questions on that specific, or I would like to, if possible, appoint them all as we go through these different committees instead of going through each individual member if possible. I think that'd be better. So what's the pleasure of the governing body for the economic development?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve your appointment of the Economic Development Advisory Committee as presented on the agenda.
A motion by Councilor Casey. Have a second. Second by Councilman Ulivari. And Ms. Cassandra, after we take the vote, could you, just for the record,
Certainly.
say the names? Thank you. Roll call.
Councilor Ulivari? Councilor Martinez? Councilor Casey?
Yes.
Councilor Pacheco?
Yes.
I have a motion by Councilor Casey, a second by Councilor Ulivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries. And that would be appointment to the Economic Development Advisory Committee of Matt Martinez, Michael Quintana, David Valdez, Andrea Encinas, Jeff Salmon, Dr. Neil Wolf, Dr. Vina Parpotia, Dr. Carol Linder, and Helen Valentine.
Thank you.
Hope I pronounced those right.
The next appointment that I'm asking for is appointment to Planning and Zoning. A couple of additions here, Mr. Galen Serna and Mr. Michael Quintana. They did show interest. We still have one committee member that we would have to fill. The majority of them were already in place right now, and I think we have a good planning and zoning committee. They're asking questions that need to be asked. They understand our ordinances. If there's any questions to that, I'll gladly answer them. But I make a recommendation for the individuals that are listed in the.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Martinez.
I'll go ahead and move to approve the Planning and Zoning Commission as presented.
Motion by Councilman Martinez. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Pacheco. Roll call.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari? Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Have a motion by Counselor Martinez, a second by Counselor Pacheco, and that is for the appointment of Mike Sweeney, Andrew Salazar, Oliver Lesbrance, Travis Regensberg, Galen Serna, Michael Quintana to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Thank you. And I know we have Mr. Michael Quintana here in the audience, so congratulations. All right. Next one, appointment of the Lodgers Tax Board. Again, the same individuals. I think we have a great board. They're asking questions. It's operating good. There was two individuals that decided not to serve, so we'll have two openings. I am working with the PIO, and I don't know if it's went out already. It did go out. So, I'll be asking for letters of interest to fulfill, these committees that aren't fully committed. Any questions on Lodgers Tax Board? It's the pleasure of the council.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman
I'll go ahead and approve the names as presented for Lodgers Tax Board.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilman Martinez, second by Councilor Casey. Roll call.
Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari? Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Martinez, a second by Counselor Casey. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries to appoint Krutek Bakta, Matt Martinez, Elmer Martinez, Tina Clayton to the Lodgers Tax Board. And you have one more.
The final one for now is, I know that we haven't had an active, even though the committees were supposed to still continue, we haven't really had any participation. So with that, I know I only have 3 members, I think, and then the ex-official members that I'm appointing, from this governing body. 3 members, and again, the remainder will be filled with those that put their letters of interest. Pretty much continued the same with those that were active. The addition here has been Miss Christine Ludi from West Las Vegas, and two ex-official members, Councilman Pacheco and Councilman Martinez. Being that I know that they've been asking a lot of financial questions, so I thought, having them on this board and having staff present, I think some of the questions can be answered in Finance Committee, and we can get more things pushed through there. So if there's any questions, not, my recommendation is to approve the members as recommended.
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of the persons listed for appointment to the Finance Advisory Committee. And I know some of these people very well and know the quality of their work, and so I'm very happy to see their names on there.
Motion by Councilor Casey, second by Councilman Olivari. Roll call.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Olivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries for the appointment of Dinah Minus, Robert Witters, Christine Ludi, Counselor Benita Pacheco as ex officio member, and Counselor Marvin Martinez, ex officio member to the Finance Advisory Committee.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
That's it for my reports and my
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moving on to our councilors' reports.
councilors. Well, I think we'll just start off here, Councilman Martinez, and I'll just go down the line.
Mr. Mayor, I really don't have anything to report other than a few meetings that we attended. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I know there's still a lot of moving parts and a lot of things taking place in our community, and I do wanna mention one thing or ask of one thing. If we have the lineup for the vendors for the 4th of July and all that kind of set. And of course, the applications and so forth for the reinas. And I wanted to make sure that we're already concentrating on those things to get those things off and underway. I know that the committee's been working on the lineup for bands, entertainment and stuff. So, but these items I wanted to ask about.
Mr. Manager?
Mr. Mayor, Councilman Martinez, I was part of the dialogue today, but I'm going to defer to Mr. Marquez for starters, and then I might make a few additional comments. But things are progressing. The committee met and had a good dialogue and some good debate, but it was all cordial and professional, and we have some good outcomes. Mr. Marquez.
Mr. Marcus?
Mr. Mayor and Mr. Mayor, also, Mr. Manager, thank you. So yes, we did have we have been having our events committee meetings on Wednesdays at 8:15 in the morning. We had another productive one today. We've gone through a few meetings that kicking around some ideas, bringing some back and forth. We knew that today had to be the finalization, so we could try to meet those deadlines. We're coming really close to our Mother's Day event, which is May 10th. And Fridays Al Frescos will be starting here pretty quickly as well. So we went through a good one today. They did finalize the fiesta lineup. They went through it and they were very particular with what we had and how to put things forward. They made some adjustments where needed to be adjusted. And like the city manager said, there was some professional dialogue back and forth through our city staff and through the committee. Mr. Dwight Torres, the chair, handled it very, very professionally. And Mr. Cruz, as well as Mr. Giron and April Matthias and Mrs. Diaz también was out there taking care of business for us. They did very well, and it seems like we're ready to go. We're locked and loaded for this event, and we're excited to get this rolling.
Thank you.
Not just the fiesta. So I want to also mention Father's Day, Mother's Day, Fridays Al Frescos. Everything was set today, so they did a lot of work today.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I
Just
could.
one question, Mr. Marcus, did they vote and finalize that lineup?
Yes,
They
did.
voted on it.
They voted and finalized it. They took a yay and nay vote, and the yays had it. And we'll put those in the minutes and go ahead and distribute them, sir.
Mr. Mayor, Council, I referred to them today as ambassadors to the fiestas because they truly are dedicated to helping serve in the capacity that they are. And I thought it was a good idea for them to get background on the vendors and just the whole fiesta process. It doesn't fit within their approval or review process per se, but felt it would be helpful for them to understand the full scope of the fiesta. So vendors is in progress. You want to give a little update on that?
Sure. So vendors are a little bit different than what they have been in years past. Fire codes do change. We have worked with the fire chief closely to make sure that we could get more food vendors within the plaza, the circle. We're still going to have some vendors that are going to be running down Bridge Street, and believe it or not, some of those vendors came to us and preferred to be on Bridge Street because they're a little bit away from the music. They can interact with their customers a little more quieter, and they made a good profit. So we did work with fire chief. So we do have some food vendors up on top, followed by regular marketers like T-shirt sellers and ornaments and all that stuff that they do sell at the fiestas in between, so that we could squeeze a little bit closer to each other and have a little bit more food vendors up at top of the circle. That was one of the issues that we did get from last year. So fire chief heard it and assisted in trying to get that taken care of. And then for the reinas, yeah, the way Mayor said, we were out at West Las Vegas yesterday presenting about city government, but we did have a chance to speak with them right before the bell would ring, and we did mention to them about the young ladies coming out and participating in this event, and a lot of times we're wondering, did they even know? Because as soon as we mentioned it, there was a lot of open eyes, and they were in awe because they didn't know that they could do this, and I'm hoping we get a lot of applicants this year. Amanda's really pushing on that and putting applications together for us, and I appreciate the work that she's done there. The committee appreciated the work she did, and I think we're going to get a good outcome on this Reina stuff. And we got Mr. Giron on the committee that he loves this type of stuff, and he's ready to assist us in transporting the Reinas where we need to get to.
Mr. Mayor, Council, if we could, I'd like to have Amanda, if you would come forward, Amanda. I'd like to just, for the public, mayor and council, give a brief snapshot about what's been done relative to outreach to this point, and what are we gonna be doing going forward through Fiestas for information and outreach, if you could.
Mr. Mayor, Councilor Martinez. So we have moved forward with the application, as you know, for the entertainment. So that's already done. Vendors, we're doing one right now, but just more of collective for data of currently of whose vendors there have already been selected. So for next year, we'll go through the same process as we did for entertainment. So that's the plan moving forward. We're also working on doing a post-event, I guess survey would be the best way to say it. So we can see how successful we were, you know, when it comes to events, when it comes to music, when it comes to our vendors. Do they like the lineup? Do they not like the lineup? So we're trying to gather more data so that way we can improve the process and make it stronger for all of our events, not just for Fiestas as well. We have the lineup approved, so now we can start working on getting that submitted. I started working on the Fiesta Guide as well. I've been working with Mayor. I'll be touching base with City Manager, so we can get that collectively done. The goal is to have that printed and completed for Father's Day for distribution. So we have quotes, we have all that, so we're ready to go with that section. As far as Reinas, the application is ready to go. We had a few little things that needed to be tweaked. I'm gonna touch base with City Manager in the morning. Once we have that done, I'll be able to submit it right away. So the goal is tomorrow to get that out. We have the flyer ready, all of that stuff. So we're gonna get pretty heavy on promoting this over the next couple of days. We really were just waiting on those final approvals to get that going and moving forward.
Mayor, Council, to Amanda and myself, we do have an idea of making sure that we get enough flyers and getting out to the high schools and, you know, getting notice out there as much as we can. Of course, we're going to use our city website page as well, which we garner a lot of views from that social media page. But we're really excited to get it out there to the young ladies so they can see how much of an honor it is to try to be a Fiesta Reina and a princesa as well. It brings us back to our heritage, and they need to start learning more about that so they can carry it on into the future.
And Mr. Mayor, Councilor Martinez, so what we're going to also do is I'm going to meet with Ane and the current Reina, and we're going to start going to the high schools. We're going to do some video, a little bit of outreach. I might do like a little Q&A where how is it like to be Reina? What do you do? Why it's important? A little bit of the history. So, you know, just trying to get more engagement out there and show that it's fun. It's something that you'll remember for the rest of your life.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Is that it, Councilman? Councilor Casey?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to just say thank you to so many people that just do wonderful work for our city, and I'm so pleased. We have our little libraries that have been placed in 8 different parks, and I have received very wonderful comments from people all over town. One woman approached me last night and she says, Barbara, I took some of my children's books and put them in there. And I think she took them to Hannah Park, so that one's already filled up. And another one at Truder Park also. So people are getting excited about this. And I really want to thank Amanda, our wonderful PIO, because she wrote just the most awesome PSA. And I can't even think of the words. It was a wonderful PSA. Thank you so much for the wonderful work that you do. And I look forward to reading the PSAs because they are complete and they're very well done. And we have a true professional with us, and I'm very pleased that we have her where she is and hope that she stays forever. So, I guess you can tell I really like her. Anyway, I also want to thank Solid Waste, Mr. Marquez. He always has, he has so much energy, and he has so many things going on in his departments that he oversees. And always, he is kind enough to make sure that I know what is happening there and keep me posted on issues that are addressed. And whenever I call him up with, the trash bin fell over or whatever, in like 2 seconds, I already have it picked up and everything's cleaned up. And so I really appreciate that. Parks, Mr. Rudolph, with the assistance of his coworkers, did a wonderful job of putting up our little libraries all over town. And people were just like, what are those guys doing? And then after they saw the finished product, they were just so appreciative. Parents are going to be really excited about that. And I just want to, make sure that the people of Las Vegas know that we have a lot of wonderful, community-minded employees that really focus on the things that benefit our community. And I want to thank them all, Mr. Lopez, Adele, with, some of the new computer stuff. I'm blessed to be associated with such wonderful people that we have here. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Casey. Councilman Pacheco.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Not too many updates today, just, again, thanks to the city staff and all our personnel. You're the wheels that get us in motion. I just want to put a reminder out there about code enforcement in our inventory. If I could get that, I know we talked at the beginning of the year. I just want to put it out there publicly again. I'd like to get those properties or clients and an update on our signage, especially coming into the fiesta season. Again, that's low-hanging fruit. Those are things that are under our control and that we can handle relatively simply. I also want to say, and this is no one's fault, it's just the predicament that we're facing as a community. Animal control, it has to, we have to have some priority and focus on that. We have many areas in town that are less than ideal when it comes to loose animals, particularly dogs. And if I think we're at the point where we need to really analyze that and consider a long-term strategy how we combat that. I know there's steps in place, but we're going to have to make some tough decisions before that situation improves itself. That's really all I have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you to all.
Thank you, Councilman Pacheco. Councilman Olivari. Sorry, I thought you were gonna.
I'm not here.
Councilman Olivari.
Mr. Manager, thank you, staff. Finally took care of King Street after, I've been there after 7 years. Thank you very much. People are very happy about that. The drainage, the water drainage is good. They did a good job. It looks a lot better. It's close to Rodriguez. And people always, every time the city or council, whatever it takes to do, we do something, they look at that and they're proud. And I'm proud because I live there. And it's a beautiful place, close to the mountains, real quiet. I want to thank the staff and the city manager and the council and our capital outlet money that came in, any staff that was handling that area. Thank you. There's a lot more to be done and we'll work on it. That's what we're here for. Just thanks for everything.
I do have one more thing, Mr. Mayor, that slipped my mind. This last week, we had that, the New Mexico 811 that our gas department participated in. Thank you there, Mr. Marquez. David Marquez, I know the two brothers are sitting there together. But that was three of them. Oh, yeah. But that was a great event with the city in collaboration with Highlands. It was a great way for our city personnel and their expertise to be on showcased. So it was great overall for us in terms of collaboration and in terms of drawing people to the city. I think we had close to 100 people there. So Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to add real quick, Mr. Manager, and I know Councilman, I think pretty much everyone, the councilors here, and I've been thinking about this, but would it be, to publicly put it out? I know we have these continued nuisance properties that I know that our code enforcement and community development are addressing, but I think in the community, they don't realize some of this, the work that's being done, so they see properties that aren't addressed. I think maybe what we might have to do, and I guess council, if you guys might consider, is maybe we put a public dashboard or a public posting and say, hey, because if you see yourself on the newspaper and you're not addressing your yard, that might be something that may get people moving. So just kind of an idea, councilors, as you move forward. But I do want to address, I know Mr. Marcus and Mr. Chuck Grego were on the phone earlier with the isotopes. Mr. Marcus, do you mind saying a few words of kind of how that call went and some of the news there?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. We did get on the a phone call from Mr. Dillon. I can't remember his last name, but he's the marketing manager for the isotopes in Albuquerque. Last council session, we went ahead and approved a purchase to market Las Vegas over there. And tonight will be the first night that our videos start rolling. It's pretty much telling everybody that this is the new destination for people to come to and come and look at our events and come and look at our historic buildings. They're really promoting Las Vegas, and it's exciting. We're hoping to get somebody to send us a video while they're over there at the game with the footage rolling. But there's also more exciting news. They gave us an official game for the city of Las Vegas, and it'll be on August 23rd. And believe it or not, it's Sesame Street night. So we'll have the opportunity to be there with all the Sesame Street characters. I got a couple of employees that I want to have a race against some characters. So I'm hoping that they'll participate. It's really exciting because and even Dylan himself said that this is going to be big for you guys. They get so many people over there, and there's also going to be an employee picnic that can be had over there, and that'll get into discussions with city manager on that, so we could go ahead and do that the proper way to make sure that that we're there professionally and doing what we're supposed to do there as far as marketing our community. But yeah, I'm super excited for it. And Mayor, if you have anything else to add.
At that specific game, I guess the giveaway is bucket hats, and the city logo will be on those bucket hats, which is big, so.
Yeah. Yep.
Mayor,
Mr. Manager.
maybe we can come up with a project where we have nominations for which Sesame Street character best is represented at the city. I got a few nominations for Oscar that I've heard about, and maybe Snuffleupagus,
Snuffleupagus, Elmo.
imaginary friends. But anyway, exciting.
Thank you,
Very,
Mr.
very
Manager.
exciting. Thank you, Mayor, and City Council and Mr. Manager for allowing us the opportunity to do this. I think next year, we want to try to hit it up a lot earlier, get a better package for us and something better to promote the city of Las Vegas.
And just with that, every pitching change that happens is when the video will be played, so, I mean,
That's a lot of play, so.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. City Manager, what are we doing with the unwanted cars and what are we doing with unsafe properties that all over town? I know that they're not doing too much with it, and they're just, the cars are all over the place and they're packed all over the place, so I'm seeing if you guys are working on it, your code enforcement's working on it.
Absolutely, Mayor, Councilor Ulibarri. In fact, not only is code enforcement working on it, but the mayor and I had a discussion with the judge today. Mr. Marquez has also been working on potential ordinance modifications to strengthen up the teeth associated in our ordinances so that we have a little more latitude to uphold people to those fees. We're also incorporating the work of our chief of police, Mr. Marquez, in that as well. So loud and clear, I hear you, Councilman Ulibarri, and we're absolutely working on it to improve and fix those issues.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Cassandra.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moving on to our finance report, we have our finance director, Mr. Morris Madrid.
Good evening, Mr. Madrid.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I have a lot to report this evening, so with your permission, I'll just give you a summary on the numbers themselves. They are falling within line. We always have some timing differences in our revenues or our expenses, but they are all coming in within our projections. The only one that I see is coming in lower is both water and wastewater, and that's consumption. That's not necessarily revenue collection, it is consumption, it's just been lower. But in comparing revenues to expenditures, they are within a reasonable amount because we do depend on our reserves somewhat until the end of June. So in general, our finances are going along as we expected. We are saving some money in the general fund. That will be addressed during current year budget preparation or future year budget preparation, your retreat, and within the department head meetings themselves. Where we stand right now is we're preparing for year end in the finance department. We're in April. We usually send out a memo beginning of May, stop spending unless it's critical. We want to wrap up our purchase orders and encumbrances, get our payments in prior to the budget deadline, and make sure that we fall within our budget projections. We don't have any major issues there at all. We will probably bring a final budget adjustment to you to make sure that all funds are within the resources that we had planned. But we don't see any issues at all. Our general fund revenues, our lodger's tax revenues, they continue to climb. That's one thing that I'll be addressing this year in the general fund budget, is that while we are still climbing, we may reach a plateau as FEMA money starts running out. So we'll need to be a little bit more conservative, and I want to let you all know that openly since now. And in that regard, I'm talking about recurring expenses. In non-recurring expenses, we can still plan for and include major projects and initiatives from the department heads, from you all, from the manager. Those can all be considered still. It's just that we don't want to create a recurring budget that we can't sustain. So we'll be a little bit more careful about that. In regard to that, I've sent out the worksheets for the general fund to the department heads. They're working on those. Tomorrow and the next day, I'll be sending out the worksheets for enterprise funds and special revenue funds, so that next week I can start meeting with the department heads and the manager and go over the initial draft of the budgets. When that's complete, and thank you, Mayor, and all of the Finance Committee members, this will be something that will be taken to the Finance Committee, and they'll be included in the process. This will also be something that will incorporate the wishes of the governing body as you formulate your priorities at the retreat that you'll be having. We'll take all of those things and prepare a final budget in cooperation with the manager, the Finance Committee, and the governing body, and we'll do a draft before the deadline so that we can make any revisions way before the deadline. Our deadline for submitting the interim budget is May 31st. We anticipate having a good budget way before that for your consideration. That's usually a special meeting. The other thing that I want to mention in regard to that is the process will be about the same as last year, except we will, last year you didn't have a retreat, so we'll have more input from the governing body. And we anticipate a lot more discussion and not necessarily policy making, but direction from the Finance Committee. And I'm glad we're going to have more participation from the governing body there. The other thing that I want to mention is, before I forget, I wrote a note. With your permission, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask Councilor Casey if you got your report on payables this month.
Yes.
Okay, good, because I forgot. The other thing that I want to mention is next week, we will be bringing, next meeting, we'll be bringing forth for your approval the acceptance of our fiscal year 25 audit report. It's already a public document. We just couldn't get the auditor to come to tonight's meeting. So that'll be scheduled for next meeting. And I won't go over it now, but I think you'll be pleased with the results. One more thing I want to mention is that now that customer service is part of finance, we've been having some meetings dealing with issues there. One of them, because the meter readers and some of the service involves the meters themselves for water and gas. We're beginning some discussions with both Travis Martinez and David Marquez and the rest of the staff. We're anticipating some funding for meter replacement, and we want to do a coordinated effort for gas and water, hopefully at the same time, and address slow or non-moving meters throughout, because it's a revenue issue for the city. So you'll see some planning in the next couple of months related to that. And hopefully that'll become a major project that the majority of gets funded externally. That's about it. I stand for any questions.
Councilors, any questions on the budget?
I have a kind of a backwards question, sort of. I was seeing that the prices for enrolling children at the rec center for the summer program. I guess two things. One, I'm concerned because I'm concerned about people who want to maybe have more than one child participate, and that could be kind of expensive. And then the other is, will this help so that we don't have to be transferring funds into the rec center budget from other line items in the budget?
Will what help, Counselor?
Increase the enrollment for the summer program.
It'll help some, but it is
Not
not
enough.
it's not a fix, no.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to ask, with the prices of fuel and everything that's going on, how is that affecting the budget as far as pickup or, trash services? I mean, everything it's going to affect, it does affect everything that takes place within our community. So what?
It's an
We don't-
impact, and in the general fund, not as much, because we do have savings in most departments. In our enterprise funds, especially in water and solid waste, it's an impact that we're going to feel, and we just have to cover from other areas, mainly line item transfers. Where we've saved money, we're going to have to put it there.
I just wanted to bring it up because I know that, people everywhere, being affected by it, and, price of food, fuel, everything that's going up and continues to rise because of the ongoing crisis. But I mean, it's understandable, and hopefully it'll go down soon, but I know it does affect the bottom line, definitely.
It is an impact. We're fortunate that it happened this late in the fiscal year, so we can plan for next fiscal year, just in case that happens again, and we do have the resources to make it through the end of this fiscal year.
Thank you. Councilors, any other questions? Councilor Pacheco.
Thank you, Mr. Madrid. I appreciate the information. I just have one question, a couple of questions. So on that line item 4810, which is code enforcement, that's the entire budget for that. Is that the entire budget for that department?
For the department, yes.
So does that amount include the funds that they're allocated to abate nuisance properties?
The abatement fund is a separate fund.
Okay.
This is only for the staff and regular operations.
Well, how much is our abatement fund? Do you know that?
We budget 100,000 normally. I think our balance now is about 30,000 because they have done some abatements. And that fund is one that's considered for increase next year.
Thank you. The other, I just had a comment on, I did review that check document that we all received. And if I see that correctly, do we do we cut that many paper checks per month?
Yes.
So we don't do any electronic transfer?
We do some if it's a large amount and it's upon request.
Okay.
We've done some for major vendors and for the state and federal government.
Okay. Just curious, it seems like electronic transfer is less labor maybe and time, but I don't know.
You're exactly right, Counselor, and I know the state of New Mexico has moved more towards that. That's going to be a little bit later in our analysis of electronic processing. We're going to move to electronic document processing first, but that is a consideration. It's just not immediate, but it is a consideration.
Thank you.
Counselor, something else? Mr. Manager, did you want to?
Yeah, just a comment, Mayor, Councilor Pacheco. We recognize we need to upgrade electronic across the board. And Ms. Ludi and her team, along with all the department heads, have been going through a process to review software, to review licensure, to review necessity, tracking, process, procedure. And so we're targeting the start of the fiscal year as an opportunity to start engaging that at a higher level. But that's something that's been in the work for several months, and we'll definitely keep you updated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, moving on to our next item, we have our fire chief's report by our fire chief, Mr. Stephen Span.
Good evening, Chief.
Mayor and Council. So first, I'd like to start off telling you that we had State Fire come out a few weeks ago and do our annual eval, which goes through our paperwork, files, and our trucks, and we passed flying colors. That report was sent to the mayor and city manager, so they were aware of it as well. So we're doing good as far as State Fire cares. Since this is our first report, I started with January 1st up to April 1st to try to catch all up, and then it'll be bi-monthly every time after that.
Thank you.
So, if we can get it up on the screen here. And I added pictures to make it firefighter friendly, so. Okay, so this is our basic calls of service from January 1st to now. We ran 499 EMS calls. As you can see, that comes out to 94% of our calls within the city. 36 public service calls, 8 alarm activation responses, 4 false alarms, 19 no emergencies canceled by dispatch, 6 outside fires, 5 structure fires, 1 special fire, 3 hazardous situations, non-chemical, that could be a power line in the ground or any item like that, 7 hazardous situations with hazardous materials, and 2 hazardous situation investigations. And that's basically someone calls in and says they think something's going on, the guys go investigate, no hazard found. For a total of 590 calls since January 1st. As far as training, the crew's been doing really good. They've done 118 hours of in-house training just since January. They are required to do training every shift, so usually 1 to 3 hours of training in a 48-hour period. 10 personnel went to their EMS renewal class, which is a combined total of 340 hours, depending on if they're basic, intermediate, or paramedic. Excuse me. 2 of our firefighters, Firefighter Freeman and Firefighter Barboa, are in the EMT intermediate class at Santa Fe Community College right now. They should be graduating within a month. And 2 of our firefighters, Firefighter Silva and, I'm going to say it wrong, Mascarenas, are attending EMTB at Luna Community College. We have 200 hours of training, just the crews attending the State Fire Academy, which includes Hazmat, Fire 1, Fire 2. 2 personnel just completed the Fire Incident Safety Officer course, which is 20 hours long. And our safety officer, Mr. Harmio, actually served as the test proctor. He's now registered as a test proctor with them. And we have 2 that just enrolled in that class as well. Department-wide, all the personnel went through their annual refresher for Walden training, RT-130. Total training hours since January 1st is 954. Our staffing, currently right now we have 26 uniform personnel, 2 civilian personnel, one being our admin, the other one being John, our museum operator. Vacancies, we have 1 fire inspector, 4 firefighter positions, and 1 captain. Captain Atencio is retiring within the next 2 months. So he finally reached that age. For Earmero, John gives me the update on how many attendants we have. And I think you'll actually be surprised. He's open Wednesday through Saturday, 11 to 4. And those numbers are pretty impressive, but John is what I call our circus caller, like back in the day. He stands outside the doors, come on in, come check it out. So in January, he had 24 guests. It was open for 30 hours, 6 days open for that month. He was out on medical for a while during the month. February, 116 visitors, 83 hours opened, and 14 days open during that month. And then for March, 133 people, 74 hours open, and 14 days open during that month. With the numbers he's seeing, the ultimate goal is to add more part-time, more full-time positions to that museum, because for a little museum, it's doing pretty well. Community Connect, this is a program we talked to you last year about it's on our first due, where citizens go and sign up. And if we have an emergency call their house, it pops up the information. For instance, if you look at the picture there, that's City Hall. That's thanks to Mr. Armio. That if we get a call here, that tells us where everything is located in this building. How many people are in here, fire extinguishers, if there's an alarm system, if there's not. It gets as far as you can put your pets on there. Our house actually has our 2 chihuahuas, and you can put a picture so we know what they look like. If they're not in that picture, we know to contact animal control, and the dog goes there. Any special challenges that a resident may have, or any medications, items like that, you can put in here. And the only time the crew sees it is if dispatch has a call at your house. Other than that, the only people who can see it is myself and my admin. And that's because we have to go in and verify geofencing that you do live in the city and you're not a county resident. But you can add all those items in there. And that's about it. I promise the next one will have more information, but do you have any questions?
Mr. Manager.
Councilman Ulibarri.
Thank you, Mr. Manager, Mayor, Council. Mr. Chief, how many business licenses do we have here in town?
That we're working on getting together for the next one for you. Right now, we have, I believe it's 760.
Have you inspected all of them?
We're in the process of doing it. We're actually several weeks behind our inspections right now, sir.
How do you work that out? Do you work it out like how do you work your inspections? Do you work them every first of the year, or how do you work them?
No, sir. The way it's supposed to work is 1 year from the day that they do their operational permit. That way it spreads them throughout the year, and we don't have everybody trying to do it at one time. So if you do operational permit in September, we'll see you next September. That's when we'll do the next inspection.
Mr. Mayor, I would like a copy of all the business people that you have already inspected. And some of these businesses don't have inspections and they're still running.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on right there, but I would like a copy of that.
Can do that, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Councilman, councilors? Or Councilor Pacheco?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Chief. I just want to tag along with Councilor Livari here, because I have received some feedback on the length of time it takes for some of our inspections. What is the average? If a business is ready today, when do we get there and inspect?
Normally within a week, but we're in that time frame where everybody renews their business license. So they think that because the business license is due this time of year, they come to us to do it as well. we don't have enough inspectors to do that many businesses within 1 or 2 months. That's why we try to spread it throughout the year, to make it where our inspectors do it pretty much every week and can inspect it. But during this time of year, we do fall behind a couple weeks.
So what would you say is our
Amount of businesses that are uninspected just because we're overburdened?
I couldn't give you an honest answer, sir, but I can tell you right now, we're about 3 to 4 weeks scheduled out for those.
So what happens to those businesses in the meantime? Are they allowed to operate, or are they
They're
open?
allowed to operate, and we'll sign the thing with community development, because under the ordinance, we do have the right to issue a cease and desist or to put a halt on the business license if it's issued to them. But we don't make them wait for us, we move them forward.
okay?
That's what I just wanted to verify. I would not be in favor of us issuing a cease and desist if it's a matter of the city being behind. So thank you for answering that.
Councillor Casey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have a quick question. When will Captain Atencio retire for real?
In actuality, the last day of this month, he begins a month off to burn his vacation and sick leave he has. And then he'll retire, I believe it is May 28th or 27th, do you remember, so?
Early retirement is mid-May.
May.
His actual retirement date is
I told him I wasn't happy with that. No. I really like Captain Atencio. How do you, is there somebody that can move up to his position when he's gone, or how does that work?
We sent the Cooper teacher this week to advertise for it, because the goal was for Captain Atencio to train them what he knows. Most of the guys that are qualified, they don't want to come off 40-hour shift and go to 4 days a week. So it will be advertised inside. There are a couple. If not, we'll advertise outside and find someone that can do it. But I don't blame them. If I could go back to 48-hour shift, I would. So.
Okay, thank you so much. Congratulate him for me anyway, if, when you see him, because I don't see him often, but when I do, I always enjoy visiting with him, and he keeps me up to date on what's going on, so I appreciate that very much. I appreciate him very much.
I'll
Thank
let
you.
you know.
Martinez.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. Good report, Chief. I do like it. The Community Connect piece that you mentioned or talked about, any business could register for this
Any business or any house.
or any house,
household.
okay.
If you go to the city website, the fire department page, very bottom, it leads you to it. And it lets you select whether you're a business or home. We've actually had a few city employees that have done it so they could experience it and tell people what it's like. You can go in and update it on a regular basis. It gives you a login and everything. But it truly helps us, because if, for instance, if we go to your business at 2 a.m, it tells us who to call.
Right.
And it tells us access codes instead of, let's just say my guys have other ways to get in that are very costly, but it saves lives. But if we have the access codes or know how to get in, we can.
Okay, I do want to sit down with you and work on that with you because of the storage facility that we have and that I work for with Pendleton Gas and of course the location, of course the trucks, there's all kinds of other equipment. And it'd be good to have that information available to you guys. You guys are first responders and need to be out there and understand that. Even like the nearest hydrant or, all of those things matter.
Our system automatically does that. Like if we
Yeah.
pull up the city hall in there,
Yeah.
it shows where the hydrants are, how far they are, and what the last flow test, what's warm, what's low.
Okay, good.
So,
No, thanks. Good information. I want to sit down with you and work on this piece with you so I can get it done right,
yes, sir.
Thank you.
Just a comment, Mr. Manager, and first of all, thank you, Chief, you know, I know there's a lot going on, but I do want to bring up something that I know the two counselors, I think all of us have probably received calls from, is the business inspections, how long that's taking. And I want to commend you, Manager, and also, you know, Chief Span, Chief Marquez, and also Community Development. I know you had a meeting that I was able to kind of get there towards the end and sit in. And I think we all have the concerns as a governing body, but you guys might, I mean, I don't know how you want to tag team this or however, but kind of address the discussion and how things are taking place and how you're addressing that specific, that topic of business license inspections?
Absolutely, Mayor, I can start, and then I'll kick it to our team for some brief comments. The essence of it is we need to do better at collaborating with our communications and our workflow as we process business applications. And so we're all in agreement that that'll be a more efficient manner to handle requests as they come in, and not just for business license, but for any business associated with zoning and other approval requests. So we're working collaboratively to basically create a one-stop type scenario, so that people don't come in and have to go to multiple different places to achieve a efficient end at getting their license. Payment, fire department, customer service, community development, coalescing those in a more coordinated way together, so that we minimize the amount of work the business owner or the citizen has to do coming in. So it's a work in progress, but we're making good positive steps forward, and we will bring more information as we finalize those processes. And it includes most of the executive leadership team, but for sure the ones you noted, as well as Ms. Ludi, Mr. Saiz, Elena, Chief Marquez, and others. Lucas, could you provide a little snapshot? And then Chief Span and Chief Marquez, if you want to chime in a few comments on that discussion and where we're headed.
Mayor, Council, the microphone's giving me a little bit of issues there, technical difficulties. Mayor, Council, City Manager, yes, we've been having some meetings trying to make sure we're getting everything in order. There had been a little bit of hiccups with it, but, you know, the tall skinny of it is that, you know, existing businesses will get their business licenses on time. We don't intend on holding any business up. Fire Department will follow through on their inspections every year on that business's annual date of inspection for fire. So we're continuing, we're gonna do that, and we're also trying to make sure that these new businesses that are coming in are able to not have to wait such a long time to get themselves up and running. So we're working very closely with the fire department on that as well, to make sure that we're getting these businesses up and running within a week or two's worth of time. And they will have to wait for that fire inspection to be done before we could give them a business license. It's a matter of safety for that situation. So we make sure that we're working very closely with fire department on that, and with police department, because they do some inspections on certain businesses as well. City Manager is correct. We've involved Ms. Adele Ludi and the IT team in there. I think with the ideas that they're putting together for us, we're going to streamline this process for not just business licenses, but for zoning and zoning permits, and pretty soon building permits, that we don't have to be having our constituent or your constituents running back and forth to different departments to make payments, to pick up different permits. Everything should be a one-stop shop, and I think we're headed in that direction. With some good guidance and some good teamwork, we've had those discussions, and it's looking very positive, and I think in the very near future, we'll have that. And, you know, we've kicked around ideas of kiosks, other things that we're thinking about, maybe, you know, just a one-stop shop is what we're looking for. Very positive discussions.
I know Lucas Bright covered majority and Mr. Manager and everybody, but yeah, it's just kind of trying to make our internal process more efficient. We also want to give the businesses, whether you're an existing business or a new business, kind of like a map and a guide of what to expect also, so there's no delay on our end or on their end of the processes that they need to open up these businesses or to maintain their business moving forward. I think there's some confusion that goes out, wording wise, that we're also clearing up You know, there, for instance, I do certain inspections for some of the cannabis shops, but then we get people for a restaurant to come in wanting my signature, and it's something that they don't need signature from me on. So just clearing up that process and making sure that we have a good streamlined, mapped out version for everybody to pick up and know where they're going and what to expect in bringing in their business in. And I think it'll be more friendly for businesses to open up in Las Vegas and make it an easier process, and we encourage that economic growth in our community.
I guess the closing thought I would have on that is that once we have that workflow and that streamlined process done, we're gonna work closely with Amanda to make sure that we have appropriate packets and communication that goes out to the public so they're well aware of how that's gonna flush out and how that'll make their experience at the city better. Chief, do you have any closing thoughts on that one?
So the only thing I have is, like Chief said, we are gonna streamline it. The system we use for Stu does allow them to do permits online and pay online. The only thing is I need to get finance, because we need to set up the clearinghouse that receives electronic payments for the city. So first Stu can put them in the proper way. We're looking at maybe within 30 to 60 days to get that going. So we're working on it.
Thank you. And also in part of the discussion that I overheard was also that new businesses that are coming in, you know, try to work with them as soon as we can, because, I mean, when you're starting a business, you don't want to have to wait, 2-3 months before you open. I mean, every day is $1 lost, as a business owner, right? So that discussion was taking place. So I think the concerns we've had are being discussed, and solutions are being made towards that. So thank you. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Mr. Manager. Thank you, everybody.
Mr. Mayor, moving on to our next item is presentations. We have one presentation by Robert A. Anaya, our city manager, Arnold Lopez, Public Works Director, and Deborah Salser with the Salser Group, giving an update on the Gallinas debris removal.
Manager, Mr. Lopez.
Mr. Mayor, councilors, this is going to be a brief presentation. Deb Salser did not need to be here tonight for this. We had her team that's been helping us lockstep in the planning associated with the debris removal. It's a project that's overdue, but it's underway. And so we're excited that the work's happening. It's been a smooth process thus far with the removal. And Mr. Lopez, if you could just give a brief snapshot for the public's edification as to what's going on and who's doing it and how that work has progressed in the few days that they've started.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Manager, Mayor and Council. Good evening. So we did break ground on this project, the debris removal, which consists of starting at the Mills Bridge all the way to Grand Avenue. So we contracted, we went out for bids and received those, of course, went through all that process, and we contracted with Cordova Contracting. So that's a contractor on board doing the project. So, and they broke ground yesterday. There's quite a bit going on. Currently, they haven't started actually physically removing debris out yesterday, but they did start today. But they do have a lot of debris already staged in that area. And I don't know if you had an opportunity to go by there and you could tell the process and the effort that's going into that. And it's huge. And I visited the area today, got with the monitoring company, which is GMC. They were hired and brought on board to monitor, all the debris and sediment that's coming out of there, and also to make sure that all the debris and sediment is qualifying and will be paid for through the FEMA fund. So I had a conversation with her because, in my opinion, I wasn't sure. It's intensive. There's a lot of clearing going on, but they did verify to me that it is all qualifying, in case if there was any concern or question in regards to that. So, to the city, it's going to add a lot of value, not just to the beauty of the whole river, but it's going to be a lot of protection to flooding, and I'm sure we're going to get some at some point. But, there's this, by these debris, it can create increased erosion on the riverbanks because then it's diverted outward instead of flowing positively down the river. So, that being said, you know, it creates a lot of hydraulic pressures that are unnecessary to those banks. So it's gonna be protection to our banks and the ecosystem, you know, that lays within those banks. And then also, you know, we have major structures, which is our bridges, that could be severely impacted if we get a major flood, and there's some large debris in there that will continue to, you know, flow on downriver and possibly end up in our structures. And if that was to occur in a major flood, you know, they would dam up and possibly take out one of our multiple structures. So that's gonna be a lot of benefit to the city as well, to protect those structures that are very vital to our connectivity to the east and west side. But it's gonna be a lot of effort. I'm looking forward to them moving a lot faster once we get out of that initial area by Mills. And then we did meet with several stakeholders in regards to the impact to the river, which is like the River Alliance and some other people there. Informed them that, you know, we're gonna try and keep the impact minimal as much as possible, but we don't wanna sacrifice, you know, what our intent is. So, I'm proud to say that it's getting done, and, you know, it's much needed, and, I stand for questions.
Mr. Mayor, councilors, before we take questions, if we would, I'd like to have Ms. Salas just highlight the press release that went out connected to the debris removal project and some of the highlights associated with safety and other things. So if you would, Ms. Salas, if you could read into the record some of the highlights contained in that PSA, I'd appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. City Manager. So we put out a PSA, I believe it was yesterday. So it kind of just describes overall what the project's going to be like. It started yesterday and it'll continue through May, weather permitting, of course. So that's always also being considered. The goal is May 5th for everything to get completed. The goal is we don't want people walking through that area. So it's going to start at Mills Bridge and progress southward towards Grand Avenue. So it's basically 3 separate sections per bridges. The whole goal of this was to improve public safety in general, restore river flow, and reduce the risk of flooding, specifically to adjacent properties. It also makes it easier for our public safety team to see what's going on in the river. So if you notice right off the bridges, many times there's a lot of trees, a lot of shrubs that you can't see much. When we're out there, you know, dealing with flooding, potential flooding, it's always good to see what the river looks like. So at every bridge section, it's going to look different. So that's super important. So that's going to help them greatly as we proceed through the monsoon season. So Sulzer Group helped us with this on the federal side. We have Court of Construction, like Mr. Arnold Lopez mentioned. We have Goodwin Mills Cowwood as GMC, which is doing the debris monitoring. So that's pretty cool with what they do. They monitor they tell you what you can pick up and what you can't pick up, what qualifies, what doesn't qualify. So the majority of it is loose debris. So it can be like pieces of branches, wood stumps, large boulders, items that have traveled through the river and gotten stuck along the way, right, on the outside. So the goal is just partially on the banks, not internally into the river, minimal removal to avoid any further damage. But the goal is for safety reasons. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. So we'll continue putting out more information if it were to block roadways. We do tell people that are traveling to the Riverwalk Park, do not go through those areas. We have requested police presence, especially if it's necessary, because some people just kind of want to continue down their process and, you know, they say, oh, well, you guys aren't that far away. But safety is extremely important when it comes to this as well. Staging areas, there's 2 separate staging areas. Specifically when the debris is removed, they are approved locations because you have to go through a process for those locations with the Environment Department and so forth. So that has been done as well. So that's pretty much in a nutshell. But this is really, really positive and very much needed.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. It's within compliance with FEMA requirements, state, local, and federal requirements. We'll stand for any questions.
Councilors?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Olivari?
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Amanda and Arnold, there it's being added. You guys been working on that for a lot of years. You know, cleaning up and all the shrubs and all the dead wood and I don't know what else is in there, but it's really nice to clean it up because you're gonna have, I think you're cleaning up from Mills all the way to the North Grand or South Grand, not right, West National,
To Grand Avenue Bridge
on Grand Avenue all the way through.
to Mills, yes, sir.
Well, there's a lot of shrubs and, you know, I walked through there sometimes before. And that area needs a lot of help and you guys are doing it now and once you guys finish, it's gonna have a water flow. Usually we get our floods from, all the way from Gainas all the way down, but if we clean that area out, it's gonna be really super nice because it might push that water through and we won't get as much shrubs and junk on whoever the residents are doing, they're throwing it, whatever they're doing. Maybe you could, we'll go through and we'll clean up that area pretty good. Thank you for all the work you guys do.
Thank you, Counselor.
Checo?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Lopez, what's the expected timeline?
We're hoping that it'll be completed at the end of May. Okay, is targeted date. That's really hard to estimate because you don't really know the exact amount of vegetation, debris, and sediment that's gonna come out, but that's our targeted date, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Sandra?
Mr. Mayor, moving on to our business items. Our first business item is request approval of addendum number 1 to contract 421325 with Albuquerque Cabling LLC for access control and camera system services. These first 7 business items are the ones that were tabled from our last meeting. We have Ms. Adele Ludi, our Network Systems Manager for IT.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
And I guess councilors, I think to kind of, I know we have a lot of these items, but I guess the big thing is, if you guys have questions, instead of, maybe Adele going through everything, but if there's specific questions, we could get to those questions and then from there, Ms. Ludi could answer them. Councilors?
Right. I don't really have any questions on the contracts in general. I just have some comments before we get to it. As I've been, had some questions on our past process. So I wanna say that I'm thankful that we're gonna be reviewing some of these in committee. My concerns, and I just want to state it for the record, is that the contracts, not all, but the majority that I've received for review have no amount on there. So it's very difficult for me to make a decision without all the information. We have no checks and balances from my perspective built into our contracts in terms of approval thresholds. And those would be things within the contract that if we need a change on, we have no control over that. We don't say if it's 20%, we don't say if it's a dollar amount, we just let it happen, it seems like. And for extensions that have come before me, I do not see any outcomes built into those extensions. So if there was a previous contract, which typically has not been presented at this point, I don't see what was expected out of that contract. If we were supposed to get A, B, and C, I don't know what A, B, and C are. I don't see any performance review built off of the previous contract to justify an extension. I know the funding source is the city, but it's unclear exactly what part of the budget that funding source is coming from. So that's another thing that I would like to be considered as these things move forward for review. And then in terms of our RFP process, I voice this. I am in favor of trying to keep our business local when possible. And some of the RFPs that I've seen before me, we have and this, I know the review's independent and it's going through a outside party at times, so I appreciate that. It's transparent, I will say that. But we don't look at, from my perspective, best value versus lowest cost. What's the best value to the city of Las Vegas? And how do we measure that? RFPs just do not require that we go at lowest cost, but what's our best value? So I would just like to voice those before we go over all these contracts. I think we are where we are. We're moving forward in the process, which I appreciate. And I just want that out there and voiced again for the record. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Manager, and I'm also gonna, I throw probably our finance director into this. I know a lot of discussion on internal controls and maybe policy moving forward as far as contracts. You guys mind kind of touching up on some of the discussion?
Yeah, Mayor, first, if I could, Mayor, I want to address Councilman Pacheco. I know Councilman Pacheco is doing his homework. He's already done some outreach. I've had some discussions with him. He's done some outreach with other jurisdictions that he has connections with in other parts of the state. And so I think there's some relevance to an analysis overall of what we do. Mayor Councilman Pacheco expressed that and was going to have that dialogue here. And I'm appreciative from my standpoint that he altered that direction and is willing to go through a process through Finance Committee and have more evaluation and consideration. And I think we can make some improvements to our process. And so I'm thankful for that review, and we'll continue to work closely with Finance, our legal team, and look for best practices and other improvements we can make to our processes and function. So relative to what we are doing, we are engaged in that process, Mayor and Council, to look at what are the state laws, what are our local requirements, what are our local ordinances, and ensure that we're operating as in the best practices and standpoint we can. And so, Mr. Madrid, if you would provide a few brief comments, but that's where we're headed.
Sure. Mayor and Council, very briefly, I'll highlight the intent and the process involved in some of these contracts. And in contacting some of these vendors that you see on your agenda tonight, there was one that we have never used. But these just serve as another tool in the toolbox for the directors to have at their disposal. They may never use them. They may not use them for a specific purpose when the contract is granted. But I'll give you an example of the process and the controls that are in place. The first one is when they request a requisition, that's subject to budget approval and procurement approval. If it doesn't meet one or the other or both, it's rejected. If it is approved, then it's turned into a purchase order. That purchase order does have a specific amount not to be exceeded. If it's intended to be exceeded, it has to be increased with justification. So there is a couple of internal limits there. In addition to that, there is the budgetary control at the line item level. So if there's going to be any increase to those line item expenditures, those have to be justified through myself and the city manager, and the total budget cannot be exceeded. I think one of the main differences in some of these contracts versus others, for example, if you have a construction project that's going to be bid, you have specific deliverables, units, quantities, and price, and a bottom line that you cannot exceed without a change order. You have something like that on the agenda later tonight involving the roof at the recreation center. They are units, quantities, and price, and an amount not to be exceeded. That's a specific purpose. These types of contracts are just tools that are available when they're needed, and they give the directors additional resources and some discretion. It is up to the directors to control these and use them only when they need them. But there are several sets of eyes on them as they move through the process. And This is one good topic for the Finance Committee. We see that, and it will be addressed.
Thank you, Mr. Madrid.
And I also want to note, I know Mr. Manager and myself, we met with the mayor of Santa Fe, Mayor Garcia, and it was kind of interesting because he brought up and asked us some of the same questions about contracts and procurement and the thresholds. So it's not, we're not the only ones, asking those questions. I think this is happening more than just here locally, so. Councilors? No?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Martinez.
So this contract is also as needed, as, stated here, but this is basically an extension of a contract that was in place. No, it's, because if you look at the dollar amount, it goes back 2 years, right? Which is zero. So when was this RFP'd?
I believe the RFP was in 2025. However, the dollar
25?
amounts, yes,
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
The RFP was in 23? I thought it was 25.
Travis, do you mind getting the microphone just in case? Thank you.
This contract was granted 2 years ago, so back in 2024.
So the dollar amounts that are on the form, I believe those are specific to utilities. However, citywide, what I was seeing for, so far for like FY '26 was $9,562.36, and that's what's been expended. We also have a project that's nearing completion over at the senior center to implement surveillance, a surveillance system, access control, and a temperature sensor for the refrigerator and the freezer. And so that is for $53,605.63. And we actually did do a three-quote process on that one, just to make sure we were getting the best deal and finding something that was going to best meet our needs.
Thank you.
Sure. So I would request extension on this contract. As you're aware, we do have systems citywide, access control, surveillance systems, and having them available to us, especially on an emergency basis, if we need to reach out to them for support. I know some of the concerns are over controls. One of the things that we're trying to do to minimize cost is get as much training and access for the IT team so that we're able to do in-house support for what we can. And then have an open PO for, let's say, 20 hours for the remainder of the fiscal year in case we need to reach out to them for something we can't resolve. And so that's my main recommendation, but just making sure that they're available to us when we need them.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve Addendum 1 to Contract 421325 with Albuquerque Cabling LLC for access control and camera system services.
Motion to approve. Would I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Martinez. Roll call.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
Have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Martinez. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries. Moving on to our second item, request approval of addendum number 1 to contract 421425 with Camnet Incorporated for access control and camera system services. Ms. Ludi.
To the council, is there any specific questions to that contract? I've seen none. What's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve Addendum 1 to Contract 4214-25 with Camnet Incorporated for access control and camera system services.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilor Casey, second by Councilman Olivari. Roll call.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
Have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Olivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 3, request approval of addendum number 1 to contract 421925 with Next Level for access control and camera system services. That one is also Adele.
Give them.
That was too easy.
I guess, Mr. Manager, as we're approving these, I guess, maybe what I should do is start asking you your recommendation on some of these also, but, I mean, any comments to that?
Mr. Mayor, given my previous comments and the work that we're going to do for the process oriented stuff, I recommend approval.
Any specific questions? If not, what's the pleasure of the council? Councilman Pacheco.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, Ms. Rudy, what are these, the access control and camera system services? Are those on our buildings throughout the city?
Not on every building and not consistently, but yes, across the city, we do have a number of surveillance systems. Unfortunately, we have a lot of disparate systems, and so we need to do an assessment and see what we need citywide. We also have a number of surveillance systems that need to be replaced for security purposes. And then the access control, there's really only a handful of buildings that have that, so we need to modernize, but there's a number of challenges just with some of the infrastructure in our buildings. But, you know, we're working with the different departments on their priorities and trying to help facilitate that. One of the issues that we have with our access control now is everything is sort of separated and we're trying to centralize everything. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, ma'am. Do you,
In terms of centralizing, what's the anticipated timeline? I know it takes time, so that's why I'm asking.
For the systems that we have now, so at Utilities Customer Service, Utilities on 12th Street, and now the system that just came online at Senior Center, that should be pretty soon in the next 2 to 3 weeks, because we're going to be able to put all of those together. I don't have enough information on the access control here at the city. I think it's kind of a standalone system. And so we need to do an assessment on that and see what our needs are and what we're able to realistically do. I think it's going to have to be a phased approach, kind of a long-term thing just because of the cost.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman Pacheco, those are excellent points. The strategy that we're employing is for critical infrastructure as priority one, based on requirements associated with emergency management. There's I don't remember the title, Chief, but the disaster recovery emergency management protocol procedure that all municipalities are gonna need to be under, that we're striving to get to. Could you just speak to that briefly?
Yes, sir. There was an executive order put out, I believe, in 2008, pretty much just outlining that all municipalities, towns, villages are required to maintain their own critical infrastructures in-house as our responsibility. So this will be part of assisting in those efforts as far as the access control, security cameras, and then we're working on the open space officers, which we just posted, and hopefully we get those, but this is just one step to that.
thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Martinez.
I'll move to approve addendum number 1, contract 4219-25 with Next Level for access control and camera service, system services.
Martinez, second by Councilman Olivari. Roll call.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari? Counselor Martinez? Have a motion by Counselor Martinez, a second by Counselor Olivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries. Moving on to our next item 4, request approval of request approval of addendum number 3 to contract 396723 with Hayes Plumbing and Heating Incorporated for on-call commercial plumbing services. We have our Water Director, Mr. Travis Martinez.
Councilors, with that on item number 4, is there any specific questions for Mr. Martinez on the contract?
I do just have one question.
Councilman Pacheco.
I assume it's probably because of the flooding, but I see in 24 and 25, the expenditures were significantly higher than in 23 and 26. What, is that because of the flooding?
Partially, back from 23, 24, and into 25, that was pre-me. There was a lot of other projects that were assigned to them. During that time I came in, we kind of pulled away of utilizing their services and just utilizing the services for on-call. And 25, well, late 24 and into 25, they did help with the disaster recovery.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
questions?
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of addendum 3 to contract 3967-23 with Hayes Plumbing and Heating for on-call commercial plumbing services.
And I
Motion by
recommend
Councilor
approval, Mayor.
Casey. Do I have a second?
Second, Mr.
Second by Councilman Olivari. I had Councilor Pacheco with one
I
comment.
just have another comment after looking at these expenditures. And I just want to use this as an example. Because when you look at, and this, again, it's no one's fault. It's just our process. It's a way we can improve. But you look at these expenditures and we have 12,000 in 1 year. And then the next year we jump almost to 675. So that's a significant jump on the same contract. And I think that shows, our need for a bit more fiscal control over these. And maybe, I'm not saying it wasn't warranted. I'm not saying there was anything that was out of line that occurred there. I'm just saying we don't have the steps to address that and to be able to have a clear pathway to approval. So I just wanted to use that as an example. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And then I had Mr. City Manager, you wanted to say a
Yeah,
comment?
I'm sorry I interrupted, Mayor. I just want to say I recommend approval.
Okay. Mr. Madrid, you had a comment? I saw you kind of raise your hand and grab the mic.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Council, the numbers that you see are total expenditures to vendors, and I believe that Hayes Plumbing was involved in major projects that were awarded through bid. However, our system does not separate vendor payments by project. It's just total payments to that vendor. So there are specific projects that were awarded by bid or by other contracts included in those numbers, and we can separate those for you if you need them, Councilor.
Thank you, Mr. Madrid.
Roll call.
Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Olivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries. Moving on to our next item, request approval of addendum number 2 to contract 408324 with Curb Services Company for on-call pressure reducing valve and altitude control valve maintenance. Mr. Travis.
Councilors, any specific questions for our director?
No,
Councilman Martinez.
Mr. Mayor, I'll go ahead and move to approve addendum number 2, contract 4083-24 with Curb Services Company.
Motion by Councilor Martinez. Do I have a second? Second by Councilor Casey. I just want to make sure there's no discussion on this item. Any discussion? Seeing none. Roll call.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez? Yes. Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Martinez, a second by Counselor Casey. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries. Moving on to item 6, request approval of addendum number 1 to contract 421525 with GM Emulsion LLC for concrete work services.
Okay, before we get to that item, Travis, I don't know if you were going to say something to that previous?
To this contract, if it's okay if I speak to the PRV, it's one of my specialized contracts. So, Mr. Pacheco, this is one of my specialized contracts. This is Curb Services pressure reducing valves. These are the valves that control the pressure of water throughout all of town. He's one of maybe 2 contractors that actually do this specialized work. Curb Services takes care of Arizona, takes care of New Mexico, and midway through Texas. On these contracts right here, the budget is set forth on our line items, that's systems of maintenance, anything like that. The reason that we do task orders, like how we're talking about not to exceed, is because sometimes when we call him on-call services for emergencies, he can't give us a quote right away on what's gonna take place, because he comes, he evaluates. If a PRV is down, depending on the size of PRV, it can go anywhere from 14,000 all the way up to 60,000. Plus, you have your maintenance, you have other parts, stuff like that. So on specialized contracts like this, and there'll be other ones for water treatment and wastewater, for us, it's very hard to predict the type of budget that we're gonna have depending on the emergency. As we go back to the filter beds, which mayor and council was all part of it, we did get an assessment. We had one vendor that came out and said it was $3 million. We had another vendor that came out and said they can do it for 500,000, and along with another vendor, they said they can do it for the 700. So altogether, that project, based off of the contracts that we had set in place, came out to 1.3 million. That was something that we could never foresaw on how much that budget was gonna be. Thanks to the contracts, the specialized contracts that we had, we were able to get that project fixed. And like I said, my specialized contracts, that just goes back to water and keeping operations and all that. So basically, if I talked with Morris, the specialized contracts falls under all three procurement codes: sole source, professional services, and the on-call, emergency purposes. Just to give you a little bit of background on
No,
that.
I appreciate that feedback. So this was it is a relatively small contract at this point, right?
So right now, we actually have
$1,000.
a PRV that we we have an altitude valve that we're gonna be replacing. We got a quote for 47,000, and there's another PRV that we need to replace for the wastewater system. I haven't got a quote on that because he hasn't been down here to quote me on what's gonna do to either maintenance it or replace it. So, one, we did get, because it's an altitude valve, he was able to send us the information that we need. That's a quote that's gonna go under this contract. We haven't pushed it through just yet, but we're gonna need to do it, and that's the altitude valve that controls the water that goes to the Valencia tank. The Valencia tank takes care of Zone 3, which is from Mills all the way down. The PRV, that's the one that controls the irrigation system to Rodriguez Parks, and I haven't got a quote on that, so, I mean, when he gets down and stuff like that, then we'll be able to see what the budget's gonna be for that.
Where's the company located?
So this guy, I believe, is out of Albuquerque. The city has done work with him for the past, I think, 10 years. And he's been the only one that's ever really applied to our contracts and has come down and worked on our PRVs before. So 3 years ago, we had a major PRV overhauling. And he was one of the main ones that came down and overhauled, I think, 9 out of 15, I believe, PRVs. And that was based on a bid.
Thank you.
Sorry, Cass, go ahead.
I'm waiting for a motion on item number 6.
Okay. On item 6, any questions specific to the contract? Seeing
Mayor, I
none.
move approval of addendum 1 to contract 4215-25 with GM Emulsions LLC for concrete work services.
Second.
Motion by Councilor Casey, second by Councilman Olivari. Any further discussion on that specific item? Seeing none, roll call.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez? Yes. Counselor Pacheco?
No.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Olivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 7, request approval of addendum number 1 to contract 421825 with Magnum Welding and Construction LLC for concrete work services.
Any questions specific to that contract?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve addendum number 1 to contract 2418-25 with Magnum Welding and Construction LLC for concrete work services.
Motion by Councilor Casey, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Pacheco. Any further discussion on that specific item? Seeing none, roll call.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes, I have a question. Mr. Martinez, this is only for 1-year contracts, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Pacheco. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
They are citywide as well, the contracts.
Thank you, Trustee. Thank you.
Moving on to our next item, number 8. Conduct a public hearing and request approval of a variance at 2616 7th Street, Las Vegas, New Mexico. We have our Community Development and Parks and Rec Director, Lucas Marquez.
At this time, I will entertain a motion to enter to a public hearing.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we enter into public hearing.
A motion by Councilor Casey, second by Councilman Martinez. Roll call.
Counselor Olivari? Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez? I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Martinez. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries. Anybody who wishes to speak on this item, please stand and raise your right hand. Under the penalties of perjury, do you swear that your testimony this evening is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Good evening, Mr. Quintana. Good evening, Mr. Marcus.
Hello, Mayor, Council. I'm Mr. Mike Quintana here with me, owner of Phoenix Ranch Feed Store. Mr. Quintana does own the property on, let me get the proper address for you. 2616 7th Street. And it does sit like in a little bit lower than ground level. So his existing sign was about, let me get to that part, 28 feet and 6 inches. So we wanted to go up to 35 feet so he could be more visible. Now, per ordinance, we're supposed to be at 20 feet. So he did apply for a variance and went to Planning and Zoning on March 30th. The Planning and Zoning and Board of Adjustments did hear the issue and recommended approval unanimously. Just for a little bit of a clarification, the height of Mr. Quintana's sign, it's 35 feet, and we start looking down to our North Grand Avenue buildings like Maverick and Love's. We're talking about signs that are 85 feet, and they had to come for their variances. This took all of 15 minutes to get through Planning and Zoning, and I stand for any questions, and of course I have Mr. Quintana here to talk about his business if needed.
Mr. Mayor?
So being that this is a public hearing, questions, go ahead, Councilman Olivari.
Mr. Marquez, is this all on the city right of ways on the fencing?
Mayor, Council, no, it's gonna be within his property. That'll be inside his property, and it's at a lower elevation, so even though it's at 35 feet, if we would measure from street level to the top of that sign, we wouldn't be above 20 feet, but since it is in his property, and as you drive in there, it's gonna be higher than the 20 feet he had to come through the variance.
Thank you.
Any questions specific to any testimony that might be needed?
Mr.
Councilor
Mayor,
Councilor Martinez.
I guess I'm a little unsure of the height recommendation. It's 20 feet normally, and this is asking for, was it 35 or 35 feet? Okay. I just wanted to get that cleared up because I read it one way, but you're saying it a little bit different, so I read it wrong.
No, you're, go ahead.
Yeah.
The sign that's, thank you, Mayor and City Council for having me here tonight. The sign that's just about maybe a quarter mile down the road on 7th Street in front of the old Kmart building, that's approximately 40-some feet, and that property is not recessed. My property is recessed approximately about 13 feet, so that's why I'm asking for that variance.
Right, yeah. Very good. Thank you.
Casey?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to speak from personal experience that trying to find Phoenix was hard because it's like it's in a hole, okay? And so it's more than a recess, it's like a giant hole. And the sign is definitely something that is needed in order to help people find the business. And we drove right by it like twice, and we finally, it's like, it's gotta be here somewhere. And so we went back until we saw the sign on the building itself, but it's not that visible from the street. So I think it's definitely something that is needed.
Thank you. So, Mr. Mayor, Councilman Olivari.
Mr. Quintana?
Yes.
When you bought the property, did any of the owners require anything that you're supposed to put a fence up there or anything? Or you just bought it just like that and got the city to take care of the fencing?
I haven't done any fencing to the property. I bought it, the way it is right now is the way I bought it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So can I get a motion to go back to regular session?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we go back into regular session.
A motion by Councilor Casey, second by Councilman Martinez. Roll call.
Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari?
No.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Martinez. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, now what's the pleasure of the council on the specific item?
I make a motion to approve the variance for the Phoenix Ranch feed store.
Motion by Councilman Pacheco, second by Councilman Martinez. Roll call.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari?
No.
I have a motion by Counselor Pacheco, a second by Counselor Martinez. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Go
can I
ahead.
make
Go
a
ahead.
comment? And this is personal. My husband and I went over there because we had heard that there was a new store. We didn't know who it belonged to or anything. We just showed up. And we had been told that the quality of the meat there was exceptional. And I want you to know, Mr. Quintana, that it really is. The meat that we bought was, I mean, I can't even begin to describe it because we were so used to like chewing on a piece of leather. And the meat that we bought from your store is exceptionally tender, flavorful, and at really good prices. So I think I want to wish you a lot of success on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I wanted to go ahead and kind of add to that. You kind of beat me to the punch, Counselor, but, thank you, Mr. Quintana. I know, in conversation with you, you have a lot of investment here within the community, and you continue to do that, number one. Now having this, this meat market store for the community, and I've heard nothing but great things. I haven't had an opportunity. But, thank you for continuing to make investments. I know sometimes business owners aren't always appreciated within our community, but I want to tell you firsthand, I think I could say this for all of us. Your continued investment in this community is important, and we're glad you continue to invest here, not only within your own businesses, but within the bank. And thank you for all that you do.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Olivari.
Thank you. I just want to make a comment, Mr. Marquez, Mr. Quintana. It's a little rough because, we have a lot of property here around town. And usually people, whoever's buying properties that's close to the city and this and that, and, I think the owners, whoever's buying it's got to take care, it's got to look at what they're buying to see if it's fencing. Because, if you're going to do fencing all around Las Vegas or whatever you have to do, selling properties, it's a little, to me, it's a little off the road now. Because, just the business people will have to do that. And then if the city start doing that, it's going to cost the city a lot of money. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Martinez.
I do want to make a comment too. We've actually tried the meat there, and it's excellent product. And I wish you a lot of success moving forward. Any business opportunities coming to our town, we accept, of course. And we want to see our town flourish and grow and continue to grow. So I appreciate the new business in our community, and good luck with all that.
Thank you all. We have plans on opening up a steakhouse, so that's something that we're gonna be probably doing at the old K-Bob's. I purchased that a year ago or so. So we have plans on doing that. But one thing I would like to say is thank you to Lucas. He's really helped me through this whole variance process. And also Archie, if it wasn't for Archie calling me and reminding me today, I probably would have forgot about today. There's a lot on my plate. And there was also another gentleman in the department, I forgot his name.
Charles Ortiz.
Charles Ortiz, he was great to work with. I know people complain about maybe some of the licenses and stuff that some people mentioned here, but I have businesses in Colorado and all over New Mexico, and it's easier to do business here than it is in a lot of other communities. So it's not always that bad here. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Councilman Pacheco.
No, just wanted to say thank you, Mr. Quintana. We appreciate you and what you bring to the community. I can't wait for another steakhouse. So, I like to go out and have a steak on Thursday or on Friday night, Saturday night. Lately, I've had to kind of cook those at home. Have some of that high quality beef. I know Mike's cows are fed off. A lot of them are fed off that great Mora County water and grass. So that's why they're so good.
Thank you, guys.
And I think Mr. Quintana was going to have a soft opening for us, maybe, I don't know.
Maybe. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, moving on to our next item. Request approval to award Phase 1 of the Recreation Center Improvements Project to J3 Systems. Mr. Marquez.
Mr. Marquez. Mr. Aleman.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I brought Mr. Archie or Adrian Aleman up with me. You know, when he was brought over to community development, I had been working on this project. We've had numerous people have a shot at this, you know, directors, managers, people to try to get this this roof project corrected at the rec center. So we've gone through some processes. I put Adrian on top of it, and he's come a long way with it. We're near to getting what we need to get so we could get this roof completed. And you know, we've gotten this far, and I want to make sure that do we have the gentleman on Zoom?
Yes, sir. I believe they're joining on Zoom as
I wanted to
as
make
well.
sure that we got the architect and the contractor on Zoom with us, so we could go ahead and they can help us with some explanations as well. This is a huge undertaking for us. You know, this project is well into the $1 million dollar amount, and we want to make sure that the council knows everything about it. And we've been through this roof inside and out, and we stand for questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Aleman and Lucas. But I just want to make sure, you know, to the public that might think that, you know, maybe we're not asking enough questions, but we do get a lot of, you know, information in our packets, especially now with memos and so forth. And that's why when I ask, you know, the governing body here, if there's specific questions to the contracts, or you know, awarding any of these bids, you know, we are getting a lot more information. So I just want to make that public. So with that, any councilors, do you guys have any specific questions for Mr. Aleman, Mr. Marquez, the architect, or the contractor? Councilman Pacheco.
I just have so I see it's a 20-year warranty, which I like. How old is the current roof?
The current roof, Mayor, Council, the current roof was just done, I believe, I want to say at least maybe less than 10 years ago.
Yes. Yeah, that's correct. And to add to that, you know, the architect did go out there and we did find that it was installed incorrectly in some locations. So currently, right now, the standing seam metal roofing panels are not screwed onto structural framing. So they're pretty much free flowing right now. And that's a major concern that we have, not only for our city staff, but for our community, just in case, you know, with these winds that we've been having, we don't want one of those panels to become airborne and possibly injure somebody or worse.
And to add to that, Councilor, it sways pretty badly in the wind right over the racquetball area. That's where the roof is pretty much really hurting, and also it's just screwed into each other. It's not screwed into nothing that would actually brace it for in case we do get some of these stiff winds that we do get over here. And it's a huge concern. You know, as a matter of fact, just to say, we just finished repairing some of the stairwell from all the leakage that had happened prior, and now we're starting to see damage again after just the small rainfalls that we've had. So we definitely are in this. We're in this deep. Yeah.
Mr. Manager.
Mr. Mayor, I wanted to make some comments. This particular project is tied to roofs and projects citywide. One of the things that I learned early on in working with our team is that we have historically had some roofs that have performed okay and some that have underperformed. The other thing that we recognize and acknowledge is that the New Mexico Municipal League, who handles our risk associated with our roofs, had specific concern associated with some of that happening on construction and projects. So we worked in collaboration with the Municipal League, with our team, not just on this particular roof, but we've done it on other roofs in the city as part of a pilot program to get to your point, Mayor, Councilman Pacheco, that we have appropriate design, appropriate construction, and appropriate warranty that all coincide with better efficiencies and save costs to the taxpayer. The piece that we'll work on and need to build upon is assuring that there's the capacity moving forward for those projects to be bid and opportunities to be had for local contractors as well. And so It's a comprehensive analysis. It involves the municipal league, it involves our team, it involves architects and engineers. But the primary purpose and intent is high-functioning roofs applied accordingly with appropriate warranties to go with them. And so I just want to add that, and this conversation didn't just happen with these two individuals. This conversation has been happening comprehensively and affected the police department, it affected the museum, it's affected the library. And so I would just note on the record as well, this was one of the pilot programs that Mr. A.J. Fort, the director, noted to the whole legislative body on positive steps that the city is taking to more comprehensively review projects and get projects completed. And so a lot more background to it, but the essence is we're headed in the right direction.
Thank you. Commissioner Pacheco.
Just one more question. I look at the diagram, and I notice the entire building is not included. Is there a reason why?
Yes, sir. So we did, when we got with the architect, we did different phases, and that included some concrete outside, some stucco, and the TPO, some other TPO roofing that is in different locations of the rec center. And when we did that, we found out that this phase one, which is the standing seam roofing, was the one that was most important. So that's why it's just this section for now. This is the one that's failing, and this is our main concern right now. And we're just trying to get it complete just before the rain, and prevent any more structural damage.
No further questions. And I'll say firsthand, I mean, I've spent a lot of time in that gym.
Yes, sir.
And there are a lot of leaks that occur when it's raining, and puddles all over that gym floor. So, thank you.
Mr. Mayor. Councilman Olivari.
Thank you, Mr. Marquez and Mr. Director. We do need that kind of work at the work center.
It's a real mess, but you're taking care of it. But there's a lot of residents that go out there, a lot of kids, and they're looking at that around the buildings. They go inside the building and everything's nice. So we need to take care of that, and you guys are on top of that. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to add, just a little history to what Mr. Marcus mentioned. Is this is some money that the city that we as a governing body allocated towards the roof. Of course, we still know that there's still more need to address other portions of it, but based off of projected costs, we knew that we couldn't do it, so you phased it out. That's kind of correct. Mr. Marcus, if you don't mind kind of.
Yeah, yes, sir, Mr. Mayor and Council. So, at the beginning, the project, they went ahead and did the whole estimate of the area. We found some really severe areas. They wanted to do the whole entire building, but it came out to a little bit over 2.7 million. We talked with Mr. Tomas Sanchez to try to redirect that, and that's how we wound up phasing it, and wound up with phase one right now. We are going to sit down and talk with Mr. Morris and see where we could go from there. He's had this money in hand and encouraging us to make sure we get this project complete as well. So I want to thank Finance for assisting us in a lot of the things that we went ahead and did. Thank you, Mr. Morris, for that. And we're ready and eager to get this roof repaired and make sure it's a safe environment for the public that's coming in and using it. And it's very well used. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people in there, so I really appreciate the people that are there working over there at the rec center.
And I want to add another comment, and I know, Mr. Marcus, your team is already working on this, but, we have had some hail damage in the past, and Municipal League has not funded it because of no documentation of maintenance for the roof. And I know you're working on a plan as this gets done, that you're going to make sure there's going to be documented maintenance, so for any future hail storms or anything. So I appreciate, that, because that's been a big issue. I know it's a big fight that, since I became mayor, trying to get some of these hail damaged roofs, but unfortunately, documented maintenance was never done. So I don't know, Mr. Manager, if you want to kind of touch upon that.
No, absolutely, Mayor, and that's also part of the program that the Municipal League has been working directly with us on, with Matias, I think is the gentleman's name.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Marcus. And so we will stay connected with that and assure we're doing appropriate documentation.
We were also acknowledged at Municipal League Day and what we were doing with some of these pilot projects. So,
Yes, sir.
Councilman Martinez?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. So none of this project is actually covered by, right now, it's just the monies that are set aside and approved by council, of course, prior to me coming in, but none of these are covered by any insurance claim. Am I correct in saying that?
Mr. Martinez, Councilor Martinez, yes, sir, you're correct.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess if we continue to move forward with some of the plans and information that, even the mayor just mentioned, that I guess these roofs gotta be inspected annually rather than, okay, we had a hailstorm, we'll check it next year, you know what I mean? But no, that's not the case. They need to be they need to be inspected annually. Not only that roof, but others as well. Other city buildings and that we have, but that's the only way we're gonna be able to get some kind of coverage on them if we need to. And this is a huge expense, but it's also a well-needed expense for the community.
Yes, sir, we agree.
Thank you. What's the pleasure of the council?
I make a motion for contract approval.
Motion by Councilor Pacheco. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Casey. Roll call.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Pacheco, a second by Counselor Casey. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. And I do want to thank our architect, Tomas Sanchez, for being on board here with us. I know we didn't ask much questions of him, but, he's been very supportive of us, and we're ready to work with J3 Construction and make sure this stuff gets done correctly. We're very excited for them to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Adrian, for all you're doing.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moving on to our next item, request approval of addendum number 1 to contract 42-2025 with Northeastern Construction for concrete work services. Mr. Martinez.
The governing body, is there any specific questions to this contract?
No, not.
Seeing none, what's the pleasure of the council?
Motion to approve contract.
Motion by Councilman Pacheco, second by Councilor Casey. Roll call.
Counselor Olivari?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Pacheco, a second by Counselor Casey. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 11, request approval of an intergovernmental service agreement between the City of Las Vegas and New Mexico Department of Public Safety for data sharing with Department of Public Safety. We have our Police Chief, Mr. Marcus.
Mr. Travis, I was just, we're trying to get this meeting going so you can go get some sleep before you take off tomorrow. Thank you, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Mr. Manager, thank you. This is to enter into intergovernmental agreement for sharing of our data. The New Mexico Department of Public Safety and State Police reached out to us to be part of their pilot program in providing shared intelligence across the state. Not every agency participates in this. They did select us as one of the participating agencies. I sent over the agreement over to legal. Legal did approve of it. I know there's a portion in there that says there might be a cost, but being that we're not a licensing member of Peregrine, the state does cover that cost for us, so this will be zero cost, but it does have big benefits. Our current CAD systems, which are computer-aided dispatch systems, are pretty much siloed and closed off to each other's agencies. This will allow us to share data across the board if we have a missing, endangered person, if we have a violent felon that we're looking for, if we need a deconflict for narcotics purposes, we could share that information across multiple platforms. I know Albuquerque and Santa Fe PD and us are for sure participating with New Mexico State Police at this time. I don't know of any other agencies off the top of my head.
Thank you, Chief. Councilors, any questions? Councilman Martinez.
I move to approve the intergovernmental services agreement between the City of Las Vegas and New Mexico Department of Public Safety for data sharing with Department of Public Safety.
Motion by Councilman Martinez, second by Councilor Casey. Roll call.
Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari? Yes. Counselor Martinez? I have a motion by Counselor Martinez, a second by Counselor Casey. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Counselor Casey.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Counselor Casey.
I don't have any questions, but just a suggestion. After reading so many of these and looking at the approval forms, it would really be wonderful if we had the actual name of the person who signed it, you know, the signature page, because I'm sorry to say this, but some handwriting is terrible. You can't tell what the name is. Even if you try to guess, it's like, who knows who really signed this? And so it'd be wonderful if it said whoever that was that signed it had a name typed in there also, so that we would know who is approving this stuff, you know? Is it, you know, it says attorney review, but which one? You know, we have several. And so it would be nice to be able to say, oh, okay, now I know if I have a question, I can ask so-and-so attorney. But, and the other signatures are not much better on some of these documents either. So it would be so wonderful if we could actually read a person's name.
Mr. Mayor, Councilwoman Casey, you're music to my ears. I'm sure all the staff, they probably said, okay, here he goes again. He's going to add to it. But I appreciate the suggestion. I think it's a good one, and we'll implement it for sure.
It's the school teacher in me. What can I say?
Mr. Manager, I guess the one positive out of that is we could make sure, could almost guarantee that signature can be forged, so.
That's true, but you're still.
The messier, the harder.
Belongs to.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Olivari.
That's a good question. Gotta pay attention. Because I'm not gonna sing it.
Councilman Pacheco.
I nothing, Mr.
Item number 12, request approval to accept funding agreement from the State of New Mexico Environment Department for the purpose of addressing water shortage and for a water treatment plant in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Mr. City Manager.
So if we could hand the microphone over to June, I got Sesame Street in my head. She's gonna sing the start of that song. Yeah, come and play, everything's A-okay, right? But right along with it, a little bit of lightheartedness, but one of the things that this contract does is it demonstrates that communication coordination with the state has definitely improved, and the relationship associated with the IGA has helped in other areas. This particular agreement is going to help us get somewhere really fast, and that's to expedite use of some monies that we hadn't been provided a grant agreement for or authorization for, but that we need to get expended quickly. It's been a full court press, including the engineer's office, including the Mexico Environment Department, Morris Madrid, conversations with Travis Martinez, and the whole team. And so basically what it does is it gives us $3.5 million that in this agreement, we've been given a lot of latitude to utilize expenditures from July of this fiscal year to today to help assure that the resources are expended. What does that mean to us? A lot. It provides $3.5 million once reimbursements are made of resources that the city's invested back into those coffers, primarily within the water utility. So a big deal, a lot of work, a lot of partnership and communication, and a lot of flexibility, I'll add, from the state engineer and NMED, as well as the Department of Finance and Administration. Mr. Madrid, do you have anything you want to add on it? Mr. Madrid's going to work in hand in glove with Mr. Martinez. Mr. Madrid on this one's going to be the grant agreement leader, but he'll work in close partnership with Mr. Martinez and myself to assure that expenditures fit the compliance in the agreement. Mr. Madrid.
I'm just going to talk really loud, Mayor and Council. Yes, as the manager said, this does give us flexibility that is not normally available within external funding. And we are able to kind of retroactively claim some of our efforts, which will really help, especially, like the manager said, in the water fund. So I know Director Martinez is already looking backward to see what we can claim. And the effect is it'll relieve a lot of financial pressure that has been on the water department for some time. So this is nothing but good news.
Councilors? Any comments? What's the pleasure? Councilman Pacheco.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilor Pacheco, second by Councilor Casey. Roll call.
Councilor Martinez?
Yes.
Councilor Casey?
Yes.
Councilor Pacheco?
Yes.
Councilor Olivari?
Yes.
I have a motion by Councilor Pacheco, a second by Councilor Casey. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries. Moving on to our next item, consideration to extend the term from 1 year to 2 years on the professional service contract for Police Chief Caleb Marcus.
Councilors, I know I brought this item before you last week, and I do want to ask you reconsider for a 2-year contract for Mr. Caleb Marcus. Councilor Casey.
Thank you. I'd like to explain why I made the motion last week for a 1-year contract. Because for years and years and years, all the contracts that were given out were 1-year contracts. And so I just thought I was following what had originally been in ordinance. And I'm a person that follows rules. And so I thought it should have been a 1-year contract. I wasn't going to say anything and vote against the other contracts that were made for 2 years. However, I did not do it intentionally to make you look different, or we didn't want you here for another period of time, but simply because I was following what had originally been in ordinance. I did look for that ordinance, city clerk looked for the ordinance, and it no longer exists. I have no idea what happened to it. The other ordinance that doesn't exist is, we had an ordinance and a job description for the city manager. Those no longer exist either, and I don't know why or where along the road they were removed. It may have been during the 2 years when I was out before I came back in 2022. And so I don't know what happened during that time. I used to watch the meetings, but I can't remember everything that occurred during those 2 years of meetings. So my apologies, Mr. Chief. And so I would like to make the motion to approve the professional services contract for Police Chief Caleb Marcus for 2 years so that it matches everybody else. Okay.
By Councilor Casey. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Martinez. And I just kind of want to note, for the record, Ms. Cassandra, our ordinances, any ordinances that changes usually goes before the governing body, and any changes would have probably been a public record. I just want to be clear, and I promise I have no missing pages of that ordinance. 2 years have been given prior to me being here, and I just want to clear that up, that, there's.
That is correct, Mayor. It started in 2020 when Mayor Trujillo was here.
Thank you. But no ordinance changes have happened?
No.
Undocumented or unrecorded or anything?
No.
Okay, thank you. Roll call.
Councilor Olivari?
Yes.
Councilor Pacheco?
Yes.
Councilor Casey?
Yes.
Councilor Martinez?
Yes.
I have a motion by Councilor Casey, a second by Councilor Martinez. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
And I think this one deserves a round of applause, Chief. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, moving on to executive session.
City Manager.
Mr. Mayor, with your permission, I'd like to release the rest of the department heads with the exception of Mr. Madrid, Mr. Martinez, and our legal counsel. They're welcome to go. If they want to stay, they can stay, but they're welcome to go if that's okay with the mayor and council.
Before we go in, we'll have a water attorney present, or?
Yes.
Okay, I would, with the pleasure of the council, I'd still like to keep attorney just in case. Okay, thank you. So at this time, executive session, what's the pleasure of the council?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Martinez.
I'll go ahead and move to go into executive session following the New Mexico Open Meetings Act, NMSA 1978, Section 10-15-1, H8, purchase, acquisition, or disposal of real property, water rights, meetings for the discussion of the purchase, acquisition, or disposal of real property or water rights by the public body. Discussion on property and water rights acquisition.
So I have a motion by Councilman Martinez. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Councilman Pacheco. Roll call.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
Counselor Livari? Yes. Have a motion by Counselor Martinez, a second by Counselor Pacheco. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
This time I'd like to entertain a motion to return to regular session.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Martinez.
I move to return from executive session following the New Mexico Open Meetings Act and MSA 1978, Section 1015-1, H8, purchase, acquisition of or disposal of real property water rights, meetings for the discussion, the purchase of acquisition or disposal of real property or water rights by the public body, discussion on property and water rights acquisition. No votes were taken in closed session.
Motion by Councilman Martinez, second by Councilman Ulibarri. Roll call.
Counselor Pacheco?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Martinez?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari? I have a motion by Counselor Martinez, a second by Counselor Olivari. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilor Casey, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Pacheco. Meeting is adjourned. 8:30.